Alrighty, your I can statement for today is I can find the product of two fractions. And remember that when we talk about product, we're talking about multiplication because product means the solution to a multiplication problem. So really this I can statement means I can multiply two fractions together. And you should kind of already have a pretty good idea of how to do this because you've theoretically already have been doing it, and I'll show you how. So here's your sample problem. It says Amelia takes pictures with her smartphone. Of the pictures, 5/6 are of animals. 3/4 of the animal photos are dogs. What fraction of all her pictures are of dogs? Starting with my cubing strategy, I'm going to circle any key numbers. So I have 5/6 and 3/4. I'm going to underline the question. What fraction of all her pictures are of dogs? I'm going to box any keywords. What fraction? And you'll understand why of is important in a minute. I'm going to eliminate anything I don't need. We're going to get rid of that. And then I'm going to solve. So I have a little note here that says you are finding 3/4 of 5/6. So your fraction is 5/6. The total amount of pictures that she has on her phone are of animals, or the total amount of animal pictures that she has are 5/6. So 5/6 of the portion of her pictures on her phone are of animals. Okay, so I'm going to label that animals. So 5/6 of her pictures are of animals. Okay, of those pictures, however, of those 5/6 pictures, 3/4 of them are of her dog. So 3/4 of the 5/6 of animals are of her dog. So what that tells you is that you need to multiply those numbers together because you're finding a fraction of a fraction. Okay, you'll see what I mean in a minute. So there's 3 steps to solving this, and if you can find a different way to do it, you're more than welcome to do so. I'm going to give you the way that I think is most beneficial, but again, you can solve in any way that you like. So step 1, when you're multiplying fractions by fractions, you need to multiply the numerators across. So this is different than, this is different than adding, obviously, because normally in adding we add the numbers, but this is multiplying. So I will show you what I mean. We have 3/4 times 5/6. I have 3/4 of my pictures are of dogs, and 3/4 of that let me start over. 5/6 of my pictures are of animals. I have that here, and of all of these pictures, 3/4 of them are dogs. So we need to multiply them together. So I multiply the numerators across when I'm multiplying fractions. Okay, remember the numerator is my top number. My top number also represents my part of my fraction. Okay, P-A-R-T. Sorry for my bad handwriting. My numerator represents the part of my fraction. So I multiply those numbers across, and I see that 3 times 5 gives me 15. Okay? Step 2, I multiply the denominators across. So I'm just going to bring all of this down here so that you can see it. So I've multiplied my numerator. My denominator is my whole, My denominator is my bottom number, and that's my whole, or what my fraction is out of. So I multiply those across. So I have 6 times 4 is 24. Okay, and I have that as my denominator. So right now, 3/4 times 5/6 is 15 24ths. And I'm going to go ahead and extend the page. Whoops, sorry. so that we can see the rest of this. So now 15/24 of my pictures are of dogs. That's what I know because I multiplied the numerator and then the denominator. That's all you're doing when you're multiplying fractions. Multiply the numerator first, then multiply the denominator, then simplify. So you want to look at 15 and 24 and see if they both can be divided by the same number. So take a minute right now to see if both of those can be divided by the same number. Okay, if you said that they both can be divided by 3, you are correct. If I divide 15 by 3, I get 5. And if I divide 24 by 3, I get 8. And that gives me my answer in the simplest form, which is 5/8. So I know that 3/4 times 5/6 is 15/24, which reduces to 5/8. All I did was take my two numbers, 5/6 and 3/4. I multiplied them together by multiplying my numerators first. 3 times 5 is 15. Then multiplying my denominators, 4 times 6 is 24. And then finally, I simplified to get 5/8. Okay, you're going to try and solve this one on your own at your seat. When you're ready, you can click Next in your notes. Okay, so hopefully you set up the problem like so. I have 2/5 times 5/12. And I know that step 1 is to multiply across or multiply my numerator. So 2 times 5, that's an easy one. That's a double. That's 10. And 5 times 12, hopefully you were able to figure out, is 60. Oops, and I jumped the gun because I'm supposed to do that in step 2, but multiplying the denominator across, that's step 2. 5 times 12 is 60. So let me copy all this for you and move it to step 2. So I multiplied my numerators across and got 10, multiplied my denominators across and got 60, and now I need to simplify. So I need to ask myself, okay, what number can I divide 10 60ths by to reduce my fraction? What number goes into both of these? So take a minute to think about that. Hopefully you said 10. If you said 10, you are correct. If I divide both my numerator and my denominator by 10, 10 divided by 10 is 1, and 60 divided by 10 is 6, which means that 2/5 times 5/12 gives me 10/60ths, but in simplest form, my answer should be 1/6. Go ahead and double check your work, see where you maybe made a mistake, and then we're going to move on to your last sample problem. So you have 4/7 times 7/9. Go ahead and set that problem up, see what solution you get, and then click the next arrow when you're ready in your notes. Okay, hopefully you set your problem up like so. I have 4/7 times 7/9. Whoa, sorry. 7 times 4 is 28. I multiplied my numerators across to get that because that's my step 1. 4 times 7 is 28. Then I will copy this and move it down to step 2, which is multiplying my denominators across. Oops. Come on. Okay. Step 2, I multiply my denominators across. So I have 9 times 7, which is 63. So right now, 4/7 times 7/9 is 28/63. And you can try and simplify that. So take a minute to see if you're able to simplify that. Okay, hopefully you found that you are able to simplify. I'm going to extend my page again so that you can see. So right now my answer is 28 over 63, but both of these numbers can be divided by 7. 28 divided by 7 is 4, and 63 divided by 7 is 9. So my final answer of 4/7 times 7/9 should be 4/9. Good luck on your formative today. If you have any questions, please make sure you come see Miss Fisher or myself at the back tables.